So now we're standing in the amazing fashion archive, which belongs to Camilla Johnson-Hill, an almighty fashion producer with whom we are going to have a special interview now.
Hello!
Hi!
Camilla, how are you?
It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You have a very amazing office. I like it so much.
Camilla Johnson-Hill is a world-renowned fashion producer who has managed to do hundreds of miracles to organize the most outstanding fashion shootings and advertising. Her work is not obvious for the majority of people. She is always behind the camera. Camilla owns her own production company, the Productions Club, with all the fashion star clients, from Bottega Veneta to H&M.
For example, this is a famous photographer. Everybody knows that he shot this campaign. This is a famous model. This is a famous makeup artist.
And then the producer.
Sorry, in the end.
We meet Camilla in her London office to discuss all the secrets of her amazing work and delve into her significant archive of fashion magazines with whom she has collaborated.
My job is such a thankless task. It's like if everything's going really well, everyone kind of pats each other on the back and they're kind of full of glory. And then if it goes badly, they're like, production, Camilla. I love being around people, really, really talented people. So my strengths are in organization and interpretation, because what I do best is I communicate between the creative team and the client, and that's not always a very fluid conversation. So what my skill is to translate, and so I do take great pride in being part of these incredible projects that I work on.
What are the most challenging shootings you have ever done?
The most challenging shoot I have ever done is absolutely definitely the Pirelli calendar with Peter Beard in Botswana. It was amazing. At the end of the shoot, when everything was done and everyone was still alive, I actually had a moment where I sat. We had this big party in the desert afterwards at the end, like a wrap party, and I watched everyone on such a good mood and the pictures were such a success and we knew it was going to be an amazing calendar, and I just cried. There are just so many fun moments. We did one night where we went and we shot out in the salt plains, and we were really, really fortunate to be able to take part in a tribal trance dance. So this old tribe were doing this dance where they sing, they chant and they dance, and there's a big bonfire, and they kind of dance in circles, and it's a very kind of spiritual experience. And we had Lara Stone dressed in incredible, like a lyre kind of corset and 10-inch heels, and she was in the middle of this dance that was going on while Peter was photographing it, but you weren't allowed to use flash, so we all had these little handheld lamps, and we were all kind of getting involved, and the hairdresser was lighting the hair and the makeup artist was lighting the makeup, and I was kind of lighting various people because we couldn't have flash because it would interrupt their spiritual experience.
Do you really think that the choice of the model can shift the number of sales?
Well, very interesting. Their fees would say that yes. If you cast a celebrity, which is a different avenue to take for a brand, then yes, I think it does shift sales. Maybe not of the exact product that you're selling, but definitely of the smaller, more reasonably priced products and fragrances and those kind of things. All these brands are doing huge studies on this. As soon as you attach a celebrity or a well-known model to a campaign, people will tweet about it, they'll Instagram it, they'll Pinterest it, and there's so much kind of energy around it that it actually puts the brand into people's heads. And I think the problem is that when you attach a celebrity to a brand, everything that celebrity stands for is part of your brand association. So if they go out and get drunk, then it can be part of the brand, what's happening with the brand at that moment. I think that the most interesting thing about what I do is the actual portrayal of a lifestyle. So understanding a brand and turning it into an image that gives the understanding of what that brand's core identity is, I think that's a fascinating project. If you have endless money to spend on things, then of course you can achieve incredible things, but very often you have to work within a tight budget, so it's very restricting.
But can you do the great shooting with a small budget?
Yes. Definitely, absolutely definitely. You do not need to have a big budget to do a great image, and actually a few of the most beautiful images that I've been part of creating have been on smaller budgets. There are some really fantastically talented young photographers who are coming through at the moment. Like Daniel Jackson, an amazing photographer. Like, who else? Sorry, Tom Allen, Boo George, beautiful pictures. And they're not working with these endless budgets, they're working with much more restricted budgets, and they're doing incredible work.
Tell me more about Bottega campaigns that you were involved in.
And they always work with the most interesting art photographers. I work very closely with Doug Lloyd, who's the art director, and he is so talented, and the way he chooses the different artists that will work on the campaign and how he then does the layouts of those pictures is really fantastic.
You work with so many great talents in the industry. What unites them all?
I think the quality that unites them is probably passion. I think they're all very passionate about what they do, and they are passionate about the style of picture they like to take. It's often the conflict on shoots. You can have a photographer and a stylist who are equally as passionate about their vision, and it's not necessarily in tune. So, these are the archives. So I need to find one of the jobs we were talking about. These are all magazines that just to have as reference points, to be able to look at, to feel inspired by. Some of them, there's my past work. I wanted to show you the interview magazine with Marc Jacobs. We actually had Andy Warhol's real wig. This is not it, we didn't use it in the end, it didn't look right, but we actually had his real wig, and it was Katie Grand and Michael Janssen, and it was the most amazing shoot. It should have been like 2 hours. We actually stayed till like 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was incredible. I did this shoot, this was amazing. This was with Rihanna. Oh, she is great. She was so fun. She only wanted to listen to her music. So all day we had her music on, and it put her in a good mood, but it was such, you know, I had heard a lot of it by the end of it.